So preparations are underway in Kwa-Mbonambi, KwaZulu-Natal for the funeral of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa. His body was brought back home from Paris yesterday and arrived at the airport ahead of tomorrow's funeral. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko is on the ground this hour. So good morning, Samkele. Tributes continue to pour in there where you are right now. Take us through what is happening.
Indeed, Mxolisi, tributes are continuing to pour in for the late Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa, who was a minister in the administrations of former President Zuma, going to President Ramaphosa as well. He also happened to be the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture within the country. You'd remember that fiasco when he wanted to build that big flag within the country. But Gayton McKenzie, who's the Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture and also the President of Patriotic Alliance, he came to pay his respects this morning to the Mthethwa family here in Kwa-Mbonambi. Minister Gayton, just the essence of you taking over the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture. Natim Mthethwa had been there. How can you remember him, knowing that you are working within this ministry now that he worked for a period of years?
Well, I, more than anybody, can testify to the great work that he has done. Some of it I get praise for. Things he started, things he left just before completion. So nobody's going to tell me that he didn't do a great job. He did a great job, and I am testimony to some of the successes I've achieved was purely his brainchild. And I remember him as a man that was so cultured and respectful and collegial. How he basically took time out during the Olympics to tell me about some of the things that he worked on, some of the lessons he's learned. And more recently, when I went with the Deputy President, he took more than 2 hours just for us to sit and chat. I am sorry for the loss of the family. I came to give my deepest and most sincerest condolences to the family. They welcomed me, and it's not difficult to see why he was like he was, because you see his brothers, you meet his family, and you can see these are truly people that are principled. And for Nathi Mthethwa's wife, I want to say my deepest and most sincerest condolences.
Speaking of some of the achievements and the works that you are being praised for today, what are some of the highlights, projects that he did that you are getting glory for today and praise about? What can you take us to the nub of some of the work that he did and take South Africans into confidence that this was the work of Nathi Mthethwa? Today South Africa is gloating because he put in the hard work and the grind on it.
He put in so much work when it comes to designers. Let me make you an example. The Makosa that you see today is Nathi Mthethwa. The Makosa brand that is now world renowned and world known, and it wasn't the only brand he helped. He helped a string of other brands alongside Makosa. You look at, for instance, what is done with the museums, places like Delvenhout. He was the one championing the Delvenhout facility that we have in Paris. I mean, the work that has been done there, the phenomenal work, a piece of South Africa. You look at when I, for instance, I meet the traditional leaders, they tell me, they said, please be like Nathi Mthethwa, the traditional leaders. Now, how can I listen to somebody there that comes with 5 rand airtime to say this was a bad man, this man did nothing? I'm sitting there, this man did a lot, and we building on his work. I'm very proud to say many things I've done or busy doing, he has started. So I've mentioned some to you, and I'll keep you here the whole day if I have to tell about the others.
On more current contemporary political issues, Tuesday came and gone. What was the deal that was struck? I see Kenny Kunene is back in at transport in Gauteng. How were those discussions? How did they ensue? What did you finally resolve on behind the scenes? Something we don't know.
No, let me tell you something. People mustn't, social media can always talk a lot of things that's not true. We sat down with the leaders of the ANC and the leaders of the Patriotic Alliance. We told them what is our dissatisfaction. But we also learned in that meeting through the Secretary General what we have done wrong. And we apologize for the things that they thought we did wrong, and they apologize for the things that we told them they did wrong. So it wasn't a meeting where knives was here, the bag ready to be pulled out. It was a meeting of people that had a misunderstanding. We sorted out very nicely. PA wasn't totally innocent in it, and it wasn't totally, the ANC wasn't a big bad wolf alone in this narrative. There's certain things that we are changing that we could have done differently, and we spoke about those things. And it wasn't that, no, that had nothing to do with the GNU. It's just that it's unfair for me as the leader of the Patriotic Alliance to ask people to vacate all the posts across the country. And I remain. I fully believe in the leadership of President Ramaphosa. Some people are saying to me, this morning a journalist said the same thing. Yeah, but you're praising President Ramaphosa. Why are you not fighting him and criticizing him? Like I said, there's 60 million people in this South Africa, 60 million. President Ramaphosa chose me as the person suitable to run the sport, arts and culture portfolio. If I wanted to fight him, I should have stayed outside. I'm inside. Now I can talk. They say you don't talk about Abahambe. I used to stand at the border gate. I used to march. But I can tell you this, what I've done in 1 year inside has more value and more fruits than what I've done standing at border gates, running around, stuff like that. The GNU is still intact. I couldn't stay as a leader. I'm not a person that sends people to war, then I'm behind. I'm in front with the people.
Let's talk about Limpandindi issues. Madlanga Commission, ad hoc committee, 5 cartels. As a former numbers gang, give me the 5 cartels. Give me the 5 names.
I will still. Our party is still going to appear before the commission. Our party is still going to appear before the commission. We're going to make representations to the commission. So I don't want to spoil the surprise for you because you might not have a job that time because all the news would have been out. But I'm going to say this to you, that the Lipanditi issue, Kenny Kunene I've been convicted for armed robbery, Kenny Kunene for fraud. Julius Malema is also convicted. Marshall Dlamini is also convicted, so it's 2-2. EFF 2 convicted, PA 2. So when they fire us at our parties, we can start the Banditi Alliance because we are Banditi Alliance. I see they talk on social media. We're not talking because we're busy working for the by-election coming on Wednesday. They have some stupid boy there. He just posts saying, I'm going to live. I don't even know what is live there. He thinks I'm a party animal. I am busy with the by-elections in Soweto, in Cape Town. So if he's not busy with it, if he's sure they're going to win, that's why he's talking all this nonsense. But we are the Panditi Alliance, and I would not stand for you guys to talk about Malema bet, because now he's my alliance in the Panditi. He's a Pandit. Marshall Dlamini is a Pandit. He's been found guilty of that assault. Kenny Kunene and myself. So there must be honesty amongst ex-thieves and present-day criminals.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gayton McKenzie. We will certainly continue to engage with you. I'll bring in Mr. Piwe Mhlongo, who speaks on behalf of the ANC. Just the program going forward, Mr. Mhlongo, on behalf of the ANC and the family as well.
Thank you very much, Samkele. I think for today, after receiving all the things and the deliberations that are happening, well, the meeting is still ongoing with the family, but we are expecting that there will be an entourage this afternoon going to Iceboletu to pick up the body of the late ambassador, bringing him home, preparing for tomorrow. So those are the programs that as the ANC we are embarking on as from this morning. The planning team led by Comrade Ntlaka is already arrived.
Looking at the issues of going later on to the mortuary to prepare his body to bring it home, as per Zulu customs, that someone who dies must come and sleep at home before he's sent to his final resting place. Looking at Shembe and Nazareth traditions, what then takes place tomorrow in the official burial of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa, if you have those on privy to that particular knowledge?
Not necessarily privy on that particular knowledge, however, led by the presidency, they have given us information that they will embrace everything that has to come from the family, and they will be taking a lead from there. However, the category 2 still entails that it's a state funeral, which is going to be looked at. I want to believe also that the planning meeting that is going to be taking place this afternoon is also, amongst other things, going to deal with that, how to deal with the cultures that are there, marrying them with what government is. You will realize that as the minister is standing here, part of the things that the family was appreciating is that it embodies the cultural differences that we have, which was appreciated. I think this is what government is all about. This is what government is reflecting today to us, but also moving forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mthethwa. I'm just going to ask Gayton McKenzie one last question. As the leader of Patriotic Alliance, I see the smaller parties have pulled out of a WhatsApp group in Johannesburg, putting that government of local unity in jeopardy. What are some of the deliberations on that issue, noting that these smaller parties were promised the MMC of finance in the city that has ultimately gone to Loyiso Masuku of the ANC? There is that unhappiness amongst those smaller parties like Al-Jamaa and other political parties like AIC and the party that Margaret Arnolds belongs to, who is now the Speaker of the Council.
You know, if you look at the GNU or all of that, all these different coalitions, all these different governments of national unity, there's bound to be some differences. You and your wife, you have differences, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the relationship. You never ask the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. You know they are fighting like cats and dogs in Cape Town. You know they are even divorced. But we don't read about that. The Freedom Front now is working with us very nicely because they are tired of the oppression of the DA. But I'll come back to one important question that you said. We are looking at the Madlanga Commission. We are looking at that. There's not 5 cartels in this country. That's not true. We must tell people the truth. You have the 5 cartels they talk about. You have the Russian mafia here. You have the Serbian mafia here. You have the Czech mafia here. You have the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia. They are here, headquartered here. You have the biggest one, the Mozambican kidnap mafia. They are operating here. You have the Angolan kidnap mafia. They are operating here. The Ethiopian murderers group. They are operating here. Every time when you guys, you're the ones telling us in the media, the boss of this thing has been thing. You have all these guys, Nigerian headquartered here. So I'm saying that it's not just 5. We mustn't simplify it. We have a crisis here of different mafias and sub-mafias. And I think now is a time for us to turn the page. We must not be in a hurry. I think great news is still going to come out for the people because we must hear all views from all the different people.
Have you taken this information to crime intelligence?
I've spoken to the minister myself. You must understand. I've sat down with Minister Mthethwa when he was appointed. Without knowing all these things, and I'm not going to cast aspersions on him because I must still hear his view. But I sat down with him. I said, Minister, we need to do this. And that's what we do. I'm in cabinet. I can't share with you the things we talk about in cabinet. But you think I'm a patriot. I love this country. You think I can sit with that type of information? I can't. I have a history of... Other day I was driving to Cape Town. There was a hijacking taking place. I stopped my car. I rescued that truck driver. The biggest hijacking syndicate in Sandton hijacked my lawyer. We managed to find the car. I managed to make a citizen's arrest. But the media don't talk about those things. They talk about Gayton McKenzie. It's serving me well now because I understand these things. You can't fool me with this.
What if you are perceived as a snitch by the underworld?
If the underworld sees me as a snitch, it is the greatest honor ever for a man that says he's changed. I am a snitch. I want them to know I'm not scared of them. I am now a government minister. I have crossed sites. I've done floor crossing. I have put many already in jail. I intend to put many of them in jail. I'm not scared. I am here to fight crime. They can see me as a snitch. The cigarette mafia, they're using politicians to come for me and call me all sorts of names, all those type of stuff. I'm saying to South Africans today, I am fighting crime. When my deputy was a whiff that he was in the company of someone, without me knowing the facts, I said, let's investigate. I've never done business with Cliff Decker and Hofmeyer. Never. Never. I said, you investigate. Those people there, they could have come back and say he's guilty. And I put the report out there. That for me must tell you, I stopped gang fights in Cape Town. I am busy. I'm a crime fighter. #1 crime fighter.
Are you not just being opportunistic in saying that here's a loophole for you to take over as the gang boss of all these gangs within the country?
Now, how can I take over something I had? I was a boss. What do you think I was when I grew up? What do you think? What do you think I was a? How can I go back to that? I must go back to demotion. Crime is bad. Crime doesn't pay. Crime robbed me of my youth. You can talk about your youth. I can't talk about my youth. Now you want me to go back there. Can't you see I'm a Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture? I'm now Minister. I sat in cabinet. I used to say, you know what is Skumba? You know what is Skumba? Malema will tell you because he must go to Skumba. So when you come in jail, we sit like this and we hosh, my baru and whatever. Né? That's a Skumba. That's what I grew up doing. Where am I today? I'm sitting by Your Excellency. How are we going to tackle this problem? How will I go back?
Thank you, Pandit. As they call you, that is Gayton McKenzie, as they prepare to lay the mortal remains of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa to his final resting place tomorrow.
Samkele Maseko bringing us that report there as tributes continue to pour in for Ambassador to France, Nathi Mthethwa there, as well as squeezing in, other questions there that required a response. And you heard it first right here on the SABC News channel. And we will continue to monitor developments coming out of Kwa-Mbonambi.